Hey guys, JREG here. Post-truth is a word that gets thrown around a lot, but not a lot of people know exactly what they mean when they say it. The whole thing has been kind of annoying me, so I thought I would make a quick video essay talking about the history of post-truth, where it's going, and what it means today. Now, I have a long history studying post-truth. I actually recently graduated from my master's program with an essay on it. I'm telling you this because if you need a definitive expert on post-truth, then I'm basically your guy. There have been other experts in post-truth in the past, but the most recent expert, Georgio, actually died in May of last year. My predecessor is an academic called Georgio Yakatura, who studied post-truth intensively. I'm going to be quoting two of his essays here. So what is post-truth? In its simplest terms, post-truth is when logical facts become less important than emotional feelings. What's important to keep in mind is that post-truth is not about lies. It's about the public's relationship to falsehood, or things that are not true. Post-truth is about people just not valuing truth. Post-truth comes out of the postmodernist era, in which a lot of hierarchies were being dismantled and flattened, and a lot of ideas about how we construct ourselves, our world, and our hierarchies were being questioned. Even ideas like objectivity and truth were being dismantled. And when all hierarchies are flat, when everything is even, an emotional truth is just as important as a logical one. But what is emotional truth? In a movie, you can see characters act out a plot that feels true to you. For example, if you see a story where a hero with a fear of fire conquers his fear and descends into a fiery volcano to slay the dragon that killed his parents or something, then that might feel true to you, even though you have never seen a dragon in your life. Something about the story just feels right. Like, yes, that's human existence, that's human experience, that's me. Maybe you didn't conquer a fear of fire to slay a dragon, but maybe you conquered a fear of social anxiety to climb your way up a corporate ladder or something. Like Georgio says, there's a constant push and pull between logic and emotion that is always happening. Even though you have never seen a dragon in your life, what is being told to you through the art piece is still resonating on an emotional level as an emotional truth. It is unconcerned with the level of logic. It is the level of emotion. It is the level of story. But then what happens when there is no logical truth? It's just emotional truth, and then everything becomes a story. And who is seen as a valid disseminator of information is not whoever has the correct facts, but whoever tells the best story. The information we accept is not what is factually true. It's what feels true. It's about what book you're reading, and it's about how to kill the motherfucker reading the wrong book. You may have heard the term facts don't care about your feelings before, and you may have associated it with Ben Shapiro, but actually the quote originates from this essay in 2005 written by Georgio Yakatura. Yakatura writes, "Discourse is and always has been locked in the perpetual conflict between feelings and facts, between logic and emotion, between logos and pathos. But with the rise of the internet," I like how internet is capitalized because in 2005, like the internet was so new you had to capitalize the I. With the rise of the internet, an undeniable shift has taken place in this conflict. Perhaps we took for granted the uniformity of the information we received. Make no mistake, for the most part, the American public does agree on the facts and differ on what to do on them. But there is no denying that there has been a shift in the favor of the pathos over the logos. That kind of shift is likely to only become more pronounced in the coming decade. Because facts are indifferent to feelings. He doesn't say it exactly, but that's basically the same quote. There is no telling what effect this could have on culture. So why are we talking about post-truth today? What makes it relevant? Georgio Yakatura's 2005 essay had no traction when it was released in 2005, but after he released the follow-up essay in 2017, everyone looked back on it and realized he had made a lot of startling predictions as to how our society progressed. It's easy to point at one or two people in the media landscape right now and be like, it's him! He's the reason we have post-truth! But these people are more symptoms of post-truth rather than the cause of it. And the term isn't really even new. It has been used as far back as 1863 in the French Revolution, where it was called PostVerite. The term was used to describe the breakdown in truth power structures that all the French people used to experience and had now disseminated across many different subsects of France. There have always been cases in society where logical facts have lost out to emotional truth, and that is a battle that has been raging since the dawn of time, and we go through periods of that as a society. Although you could argue that the period of time that we're in now is perfectly set up for a fully post-truth society to emerge. 50 years ago, everybody watched the same 3 channels, and now everybody watches completely different channels through the internet. Now, in theory, that means that there's more information than ever, and that's true, but there's also more false information than ever, and the penalties for somebody spreading falsehoods online is very low. But isn't that just lying? Post-truth is not just one source of information lying to you. Post-truth is not just fake news. Post-truth is the contradiction between hearing what you want to hear, knowing it's false, and then deciding this is true because who knows what's true and this one feels right. The solution to post-truth isn't really truth. It's not even fact-checking or second-guessing your sources. Cross-referencing every fact you get with 4 different sources is a byproduct of post-truth, not a cure to it. Responses to post-truth. Postmodernism and post-truth as a whole has had plenty of critics over the years, and we can think of one example as a radical movement against postmodernism as the intellectual dark web. People like Jordan Peterson, Sam Harris, and even Ben Shapiro can be seen as these people who have looked at postmodernism and post-truth, seen what it's done to society, and been like, and they've been like, okay, this has done enough damage. I think that there is objective truth, I think that there are these hierarchies that need to be preserved, and these are what the hierarchies are. They are essentially fighting back against the ideas of moral relativism and nihilism. Ben Shapiro's catchphrase, "facts don't care about your feelings," is just like an interesting way of capturing the entire movement in like a sentence. So what can we do about this? Who says anything needs to be done? Conclusion. We live in an age of decentralized information. There are a million different sources that say a million different things, and it can feel difficult to hold a belief, or a fact, or a truth in your head, and not have it questioned by a million other sources all at once. This is something I care deeply about. I don't want society to get infested with nihilism and post-truth. I don't want people getting caught up in unhelpful echo chambers of their own beliefs. I watch so many YouTubers that don't do adequate research before they release information in videos like this. I mean, for example, what if I told you that I hadn't done any research for this video at all? That I'm just kind of telling you what post-truth should be based off of how I feel post-truth should be, like definition-wise, that my degree is unrelated to everything I just said, and that Georgio Yakatura is obviously fucking fake. Well, that would be pretty inconvenient, wouldn't it? Because what I said kind of felt true, didn't it? And it was, don't get me wrong, but what if it wasn't? Well, it would probably shake your faith in video essays in general as a means of communicating information, given how easy it would be for me to lie to you. And then, if you actually cared about the information I just put inside your brain, you would have to, like, go online and fact-check everything I just said. You'd have to figure out what I got right, what I got wrong, and then maybe you'd even have to dismiss me entirely if I got too many things wrong, because I'm just consistently filling your head with falsehoods. But do you have time for that? Do you have time to research every single video you watch? Do you have the energy to second-guess every sentence you read? Everything a YouTuber claims? You have a job to work. You might even have people you support. Can you really be so paranoid all the time that you're critical of every piece of information that enters your brain? Even when that information is coming from someone you like? Someone you've developed a parasocial relationship with? You binged my backlog. That means you know me, and you do! And Georgio is real. And you know what else he said? Quote, 2017, he said, "I love you, viewer. I really do. I'm glad you're here, and I hope you keep listening to me. Because what you believe is correct. It's right! And you should feel comfortable with that belief. My name's Georgio." Now, if you'll excuse me, I actually have to go write my PhD thesis in post-truth because I'm an expert. I don't like confusion. I don't like post-truth. I don't like chaos. I don't like ambiguity. I don't actively benefit from it. No! I want to go back to having discourse, you know? Because that's what I care about. That's what I give a fuck about. Fucking discourse! After all, free speech is the mechanism by which we sort out our society, right? You know what we need more of? Fucking talking! I think we should all get our facts from the same place, like pigs eating out of the same trough. That'll solve our problems. That'll solve our problems. That'll solve all our problems. I'm glad you find me a reputable source of information. I'm glad you believe the things that I say. And you know what? I promise you, I won't abuse that trust.